Okay, so let's also talk about the sort of third topic for today, and we'll talk about preflop raise sizes, which is something that has been so beaten into the ground as an utterly solved problem for online poker that it's probably surprising to even hear that I want to talk about it, but it's something that is really, really important for playing optimally live. So let's discuss the first thing that you really need to be aware of for transitioning to live if you're an online player is that you need to not use your online sizing regiment, or whatever word I'm looking for. Don't use your online sizing system when playing live. What I see people doing all the time in live games is that they raise to like 3 big blinds plus 1 for every limper. And that is just awful. If that's just what you do and you never do anything different, that's literally terrible. It's disgustingly bad, because there are so many situations where it's far more valuable to raise to like 7 big blinds plus 1 per limper, or 10 big blinds plus 1 per limper, or 20 big blinds plus 1 per limper. That if you don't identify those situations when you're in the right dynamic and have the right mixture of ultra payoff spew monkey players that will really play into your bigger preflop raises, then you're going to miss out on a lot of value. You're going to end up making bets that are like 25 preflop and 50 on the flop and 100 on the turn and 150 on the river, when you should have been making bets that are like 50 preflop, 120 on the flop, and 260 on the turn and 500 on the river, which is a really big difference. So don't use your online sizing. Come to the table, and the first thing you need to do is recognize that you have to get the job done. You have to make the right kind of raise size to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And I'll talk more about why this is such a foreign concept for online players and sounds so outrageous and so ridiculous, but it's something you just need to accept if you're going to play live optimally. Your raise purpose, the reason why you raise preflop and the reason why you pick a certain size to raise to preflop is so that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. If you need to stack someone who has 200 big blinds in play, you raise enough to stack that person. If you need to keep the pot small so that you can see a multi-way flop, at least being a preflop raiser, and maintain your ability to like be the aggressor in the hand, even with a hand as junky and speculative as like 9-10 suited, then you raise a size that's appropriate for that. So as soon as you get to the table and you've got at least some kind of idea of how your opponents are playing and how you expect the night to go, identify your goals, right? If usually you will find, especially if you're picking games well, if you're picking soft games with a lot of action, then usually you'll find that your goal is to pretty much play your hands for value and get paid off and win big pots when people are stupid and they pay you off way more than they should. If that's your goal, then typically your preflop raise sizes are going to be bigger because you're playing only for value. You're playing literally just to build big pots and then get to showdown and win them. If your goals, on the other hand, are to splash around a lot because people are really, really weak and very, very strongly hate putting much money in the pot without a real hand, and they keep folding top pair and keep folding second pair and stuff like that, then you're going to want to size your raises far down so that you keep the pots small enough that you can continue to threaten their stack if you do have to run a big triple barrel or something like that. Okay? So remember that one of the most important things that you have to do in sizing your preflop raises is to just build a pot. Build a pot that is big enough that you can get your maximum payoff as long as it's within reason. Okay, it's not a universal thing that you have to raise to 10 big blinds preflop to just play against someone who's 200 big blinds deep. If that guy is never going to dump off his 200 big blind stack to you badly anyway, then there's no particular reason to make it so big that he's probably not going to even see a flop with you in the first place. So don't run too far with that concept. Just remember that it's appropriate when you need to accomplish something against a certain type of player who is your target in the hand.